Meeting is called to order, 6:00 p.m. I'd like to just introduce, my name is Larry Chapa. I'm the chair. Next to me, to my right, Dawn, vice chair. Larry Burns, full member. Attorney, whatever his name is, Scott Levesque, and Marty LaSalle. To my left, Alan Martone, and Chloe Chanel on the end, our note taker. On scene is Larry Fuller, and excused today is Lori Moore, Lenny Sapinari, and Stu Miller. I have to read this into the records. Good evening. Welcome to our meeting on this nice warm evening. The Zoning Board of Review has established procedural rules and guidelines for the administration of applications and the conduct of its meetings and public hearings. The rules of procedure amended in December of 2021 are posted on the town's website and are available here tonight. The Zoning Board hears applications for relief from the provisions of the zoning ordinance and renders its decisions based on specific facts found in the documents and testimony submitted. It is the applicant's burden to prove that relief from the zoning ordinance is warranted. To do so, an applicant must provide evidence that each criterion of approval listed in sections 260-33 for variances and section 260-34 for special use permits have been met. If you are appealing the decision of the zoning officer, administrative officer, or planning board, you are here to convince the board that the officer's or board's decision was an error, either procedurally or legally. This evening, we have 2 items to address. We do not take up any new item after 9:00 p.m. Each applicant shall be heard in a manner that permits the board to obtain and consider the evidence in an orderly and meaningful manner. Testimony begins with the zoning official's summary of the application and his recommendation. The application and all documentation submitted by the applicant prior to the meeting will be marked as exhibits and made part of the record. Applicants should assume that the members of the zoning board have reviewed all the materials submitted with the application. Tonight's presentation by the applicant should be limited to information relevant to the burden of proof and not recite or repeat information already submitted with the application. Any new information received by the board this evening will be entered into the record. However, the board retains the right to continue the public hearing to fully digest any information presented. All questioning of witnesses shall be at the direction of the chair. All questioning of witnesses shall occur when the witness is called. The proponent of the witness shall ask its questions. Interested parties shall then ask the witness their questions, and the proponent may then ask follow-up questions. Presentation of an affirmative case by any interested party other than the applicant will be allowed as part of the public hearing following the applicant's presentation. Continuing or closing of the public hearing is at the direct discretion of the zoning board. We first have the minutes from the last meeting from November 12th, 2025. Were you all here for that meeting? Okay, so then I need a motion to approve that.
I'll make the motion.
Second. Okay, all in favor?
Right.
Opposed? Carried. Marty, are there any changes to the agenda?
No changes.
Okay. In that case, we will start with 60 Rossini Road. And I'll ask Marty to fill us in, and whoever is pertinent to this, please come on up.
The owners, 60 Rossini Road LLC, are requesting a 15.5-foot front yard setback variance to construct a 32 square foot covered front porch addition at 60 Rossini Road, pursuant to section 260-33 variances and 260 attachment 10, schedule of dimensional regulations of the town of Westerly zoning ordinance. The subject property contains 32,250 square feet, 0.74 acres, and has 200 feet of frontage on Rossini Road. The rear of the property is in the BFE 15-foot flood zone, and there are no wetlands on the property, although the property does abut a saltwater pond. The lot is in the medium-density residential 20 zone, and the surrounding neighborhood consists of MDR 20. The property contains a 2,439 square foot single-family home, which was constructed in 1911. The zoning department supports this application. The majority of the front face of the house is already within the 30-foot front setback area, so almost any upgrades to the front of the house will require zoning relief. The covered porch is no larger than necessary and will only extend about 4 feet from the front of the house. It will allow covered entry into the kitchen and will also add an attractive architectural feature to the front of the house. That's it.
Okay. Does
Question.
anybody have any questions for Marty?
I have a question. Marty, I just wanted to confirm that the house was put on the property before zoning was put in place?
What, 1911? Is that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first zoning ordinance was created in 1925.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other questions for Marty? Okay. Tony, I assume you are representing us here,
Yes, I am.
your applicant. For the record, please state your name and your relationship to the application.
Sure. Tony Nenna with On-Site Engineering, professional engineer. I am the applicant's civil engineer. I prepared the plans and packet before you. With me tonight is the builder on behalf of the owners, Joe Larkin. So if there's any questions on building, Joe's here to help me answer those.
All right, well, there's no need for you to go through your qualifications. Obviously, we recognize your expertise in your field. Will the gentleman next to you be talking tonight?
Only if there's questions that you may have.
Well, just so we get it all out of the way, sir, could you state your name and your relationship to the application?
Is this good?
Yeah, right.
My name is Joe Larkin, J.A. Larkin Company of Craftsmen. And I've been hired to do this remodel
Okay.
for the residents.
All right, I'm going to ask you both to raise your right hand, please. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
I do.
Thank you. All right, Tony, why don't you start?
Okay. As Marty had summarized, this is a very simple ask that we're before the board. The house is currently non-conforming in the front yard setback. It's over. It's right now 20.5 feet from the front property line. The actual landing that's there that's existing is 16 feet away. And we're simply just adding on a covered porch so that they can get out of the weather before they get into that part of the house, which is the kitchen area. So if there's groceries and stuff they're bringing in, that side of the house is a covered area for them. I will mention one other thing too. This lot is a double lot. It was originally 2 lots, had 100 feet of frontage, and that was per the 1952 plan that Samuel Nardone and company owned when he owned all that Shelter Harbor area. We have a septic system that's on the south side, septic tank, which really kind of eats up that whole area. But really the covered porch that's where it needs to go to enter into the main part of the house. So with that being said, the hardship is due to the unique characteristics of the lot and the fact that the house was built in 1911 and it's already non-conforming, being 20.5 feet away. We're proposing to be 16 feet away. I'm sorry, 14.5 feet with the stairs. It matches the character of the neighborhood. I'm sure everybody's been down there every a lot of the houses have covered porches, garages, houses. This house is kind of modest in size, but most of them are quite larger. The relief is the relief necessary in order to have a covered area before entering the house. That covered area is minimal in size. And the relief, if it was not granted, it would amount to a mere inconvenience as, again, it's getting out of the weather before you get into the house with groceries and baggage and stuff. That's kind of simple in a nutshell. If there's questions, we can go through those.
Go ahead.
So on the plans, I can see that there's an existing covered porch that's being enclosed. Is that correct?
So is that on the site plan?
It says so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we did was, that was not requiring a variance.
Yeah.
So I resubmitted a site plan that didn't show that. So there was actually two site plans that were uploaded.
No, my question is simply that's now enclosed and it's living space in the house?
It will be, yes.
Okay, so that, I'm not asking about the variance on it.
Yep.
But that is being enclosed, so that there's some, there will be more area inside, which is part of the reason that the porch doesn't need to be larger or.
Right.
Right, because we
Right.
have, and then it looks like, and the porch is being designed so that you can get up, the driveway's along the front of the house? Is it along?
No, on the north side.
It's on the side, and then
Yeah.
this is just a walkway up into the house,
Yeah.
out of the weather. Okay, great, thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Is there anybody in the audience who wants to speak in favor of this? Anybody who wants to speak against it or needs more information? Well, the record shows nobody. And let me poll the board. Larry,
Yeah, I'm in favor of the application.
Dawn,
I'm in favor.
Alan?
I'm also in favor of it. It's only 32 square feet, so.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going to ruin the neighborhood. Okay, and I certainly agree with my colleagues. So I'll need a motion to close. Oh, you are finished, I'm assuming.
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'll need a motion to close the hearing. Okay, all those in favor? Okay, meeting is closed, and I will now turn it over to Dawn.
Mr. Chairman, we have before us a request by the owners of 60 Rosini Road LLC, who are requesting a 15.5-foot front yard setback variance to construct an attached 4x8 covered front porch at 60 Rosini Road pursuant to section 260-33 variances and 260 attachment 10 schedule of dimensional regulations of the town of Westerly zoning ordinance. The subject property contains 32,250 square feet or 0.74 acres and has 200 feet of frontage on Rosini Road. The rear of the property is in the VEBFE 15-foot flood zone, and there are no wetlands on the property, although the property abuts a saltwater pond. The lot is in the medium-density residential 20 zone, MDR-20, and the surrounding neighborhood consists of MDR 20 properties. The lot contains a 2,439 square foot single-family home, which was constructed in 1911. The zoning board held a public hearing concerning this application on December 10th, 2025. Zoning board members, Chairman Larry Chapa, Vice Chair Dawn Robinson, Larry Burns, Alan Martone, were present and heard testimony during the entirety of the public hearing. Absent, Lori Moore, Leonard Sepinare, and Stuart Miller. The zoning board was provided with a narrative by zoning official Martin Louisel dated December 3rd, 2025, which outlined the details of the application and was summarized by Mr. Louisel during the public hearing, thereby made part of the record. The following individuals spoke as representatives of the application. Anthony Nena, architect.
Engineer.
Engineer.
Engineer, thank you. Joe, I'm glad you were here as a participant, but you're not on here as somebody who spoke. The following individuals spoke about during the public hearing, supported the request, nobody. The following individuals spoke during the public hearing in opposition to the request, nobody. And there were no additional materials that were entered into the record. Mr. Chairman, through the public hearing process, the board heard that the applicant's request for dimensional variances based on improvements to the front of the house will require variances because the front of the house is in the 30-foot front yard setback already. The following plans and specifications are hereby made a part of this approval and may not be altered, amended, or changed in any material way unless approved by the Westerly Zoning Board of Review. The determination of whether any alteration, amendment, or change in the approved plans is material shall be made by the town zoning official and the zoning board chairman. The zoning board hereby grants to the zoning official administrative authority to approve further non-material modifications to its approved plans. One site plan, the site plan to support a zoning variance application prepared for 60 Rosini Road LLC, 60 Rosini Road, Plot 135, Lot 121, Westerly, Rhode Island. One sheet prepared by On-Site Engineering Incorporated and stamped by Anthony A. Nenna, PE number 7240, and Joseph P. Toscano Jr., PLS number 1765, and dated September 23rd, 2025. Considering the information presented at the public hearing, it is my opinion that the applicant has satisfied the standards of Section 263 variances whereby the granting of the variance, number one, is due to the unique characteristics of the subject land or structure and not to the general characteristics of the surrounding area, and is not due to the physical or economic disability of the applicant, accepting these physical disabilities addressed in 45-24-30A16 because much of the front of the house is already in the 30-foot setback areas. The covered porch is being added for ease of weather conditions, for groceries, also egress and exit during poor conditions. Item 2 is not the result of prior action of the applicant. In this case, the claimed hardship is that the improvement to the front of the house would require a variance because most of the front of the house is in the existing setback. Will not alter the general, item 3, will not alter the general character of the surrounding area or impair the intent or purpose of the zoning ordinance or the comprehensive plan upon which the ordinance is based. Most of the houses in the area have lovely front porches, and this will just add to the appeal of the current homestead. Item 4, the hardship suffered by the owner of the subject property, if the dimensional variance is not granted, will amount to a more than mere inconvenience, meaning that the relief sought is minimal to a reasonable enjoyment of the permitted use to which the property is proposed to be devoted. The fact that the use may be more profitable or that the structure may be more valuable after the relief is granted is not grounds for relief. Here, the use is a single-family home and it is a permitted use. In addition, the applicant has demonstrated that if the dimensional variance is not granted, denial would amount to a more than mere inconvenience. The front porch will allow for the family to enter and exit the home during inclement weather and also provide a short egress and exit into and out of the house. As such, Mr. Chairman, I move to approve a 15.5-foot front yard setback variance to construct a 32-square foot covered porch addition at 60 Rosini Road pursuant to section 260-33 variances and 260 attachment 10 schedule of dimensional regulations of the town of Westerly zoning ordinance without any conditions.
We have a second, please? All right, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And you might as well stay there,
You're
John.
done. It does. Beautiful. Good. Jane, that's something that they should think about, like a little speaker.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm just saying that, hearing wise, it's diminished a little bit if there was a speaker for people that sit here, because it's the way the speaker system is in here.
Good idea.
It's horrible.
Good
Yeah.
idea.
Just something to think about.
Yeah,
Okay,
good idea.
yes. Oh, I know, I've been in that audience.
It's awful.
All right, the next one is 62 Kimball Avenue. Those people, please come forward. Okay, Tony, for the record, I do need you to state your name and your relationship to the application.
Sure. Tony Nenna, professional engineer with the offices in Westerly of Onsite Engineering, Inc. And I am the engineer that prepared the site plan and the packet before you.
Okay, and again, we recognize your expertise. Marty?
The owners, Ruth and Stephen Indrusco, are requesting a 6-foot left side yard, a 16-foot rear yard, and a 3.3-foot height setback variance to construct a 24-foot wide by 28-foot deep detached garage with the second story used for storage at 62 Kimball Avenue, pursuant to section 260-33 variances and 260 attachment 10, schedule of dimensional regulations of the town of Westerly zoning ordinance. The subject property contains 11,200 square feet, 0.26 acres, and has 74.71 feet of frontage on Kimball Avenue. The property is not in a flood zone, and there are no wetlands on the property. The lot is in the high-density residential 10 zone, HDR 10, and the surrounding neighborhood consists of HDR 10 and MDR 20 properties. The property contains a 1,321 square foot single-family home, which was constructed in 1968. The zoning department supports this application. The house is centrally located on the lot and slightly angled. The septic system is in the middle of the backyard, so there is no place to put a reasonably sized garage with vehicular access and still comply with the setback requirements. The lot is also a little over 5 feet narrower than the HDR 10 zone requires. Regarding the height variance request, the recent changes in Rhode Island state law allow a dimensional modification for height. This office has granted several over the last 6 months for accessory structures with proposed second floors. It is extremely difficult to meet the required second floor headroom and roof pitch with a 20-foot height limit. The height request would have been handled as a modification, but since side and rear setback variances were required, it was included with this application. There is no way to separate the forms of relief, as all the dimensional relief must be granted at the same time. Also, the applicant had originally submitted plans for a 28-foot wide garage, but I did not feel that that was the least relief necessary. Would have put it about 5 feet from the property line. So they narrowed up the garage to a standard 24-foot width, and those are the plans that were submitted with this application.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Marty on this? Go ahead.
Marty, the table I was looking at for the setbacks in HDR 10, it said that the accessory building is a 20-foot rear setback. This is considered an accessory building?
It's got more than 550 square feet. It's an accessory structure, but it goes by the principal structure setbacks.
Oh, okay, because of its size.
Any accessory building that either has 2 stories or is over 550 square feet has to go by the principal structure setbacks.
And what is the dimensional modifications relative to the state and the height? Can you explain that?
25% for a
Oh.
dimensional lot. So if the height limit is 20 feet, then they could go up to 25 feet.
Okay, and that's at your discretion?
That's at my discretion. And I generally encourage them, don't just make it 25 feet.
Yeah.
Because that's the maximum. Just
Okay.
however high it needs to be in order to get the headroom you need for the use.
Do you think our limit of 20 is too low?
I used to think that, but now that we have the option of granting additional relief to make it a little higher, the problem is the state allows modifications for height. So if we make accessory structures the maximum height 25 feet, now people are going to want 25% of that. So
Got it.
It's
Okay.
gonna go even higher.
All right.
So I kind of like the way things are set up now. Just keep it 20 feet. And if someone needs second floor space and they need the headroom, then they can do the modification and go that route.
All right. Good explanation. Thank you.
Excellent inquiry, Larry. Thank you. Tony?
First,
Again, for the record, I have to swear you in. I'm sorry.
that's okay. I'm going to just introduce the applicants too. This is Ruth and Stephen Andresco, the owners. And they're here if there's questions for everybody also.
They'll be testifying only if
Only if if you have questions for.
but
them,
if that
I
happens,
can't.
I'll swear you in, okay?
Yeah, okay.
So you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, Tony?
Yes, I do.
Thank you very much. And again, if they're going to testify, I'll swear them in individually,
Okay,
okay?
sure.
All right, why don't you fill us in on?
Okay. I'm going to start by just handing out my narrative that I'm going to read off of and go off of so you have in front of you. And I also included at the very end, a couple of floor plans that show the areas that are designated for storage up above. So I just, Marty had mentioned that you might be interested in seeing that. So I'm going to pass that out and that's kind of my guide of my presentation.
Please, thank you. Scott?
Mr. Nenna, did you want to make that an official part of the record? With your permission, Mr. Chairman. The applicant has handed a document in to the board, the cover of which is dated December 10, 2025. It is multiple pages, which includes what appears to be several pages of a narrative followed by multiple pictures, drawings. We'll mark that collectively as applicant's Exhibit 1 for purposes of this evening's proceedings. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll start by just giving a kind of elaborate a little bit on the site plan existing conditions that Marty had mentioned. So the house is already non-conforming to the northerly property line. It's 9 feet away from the sideline setback. It currently has a driveway that is paved and it goes up to the kind of the northeast corner of the house. And we have a existing deck and existing rear deck and front deck. And most importantly, the septic system in the back has a septic tank, a denitrification system, and a leach field. And that's designated on the site plan. So DEM's requirements for distances to leach fields to foundation slabs is 9 feet. So what I did was I held the 9 feet away from that leach field, and we set the garage at that location, and that kept us 9 feet off of the southerly property line. We also wanted to push the garage back so it wasn't going to be too close to the house, so it wasn't too congested. And that's where it landed the variances for the side and the rear yard. We're proposing to remove a portion of the existing driveway and do a circular drive and a new driveway to the proposed garage. And I've designated an area that's going to be pervious so that we wouldn't be asking for another variance of impervious coverage. So we're going to convert some of the circular driveway to like a pervious surface. So this garage, the house is in harmony with the neighborhood. A lot of houses down there are in similar lot sizes, have either larger houses or same size houses. They have detached garage, attaches garage. So it's in harmony of what's around the surrounding area of Musquamacut. We did get a letter of support. I think that's in the record.
There are actually 3 letters of support that
Oh,
are,
3 letters, okay.
that are included in the packet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think you have those letters in the packet. Um, And the garage will be constructed by, what is the company name? Clouder Farms. I don't know if you've seen their garages around there. They have like a fancy cupola on top. It looks pretty nice, and I included in the packet with you uh, the elevation views of the building. And the very last 2 pages, as I mentioned earlier, have the areas designated as garage space, and then right above the garage would be storage. Not a bedroom, not living space. And the reason for that is the house that they have now has no storage, and they are in desperate need of a lot of storage. They plan on residing here year round, and this is just adds to their area for the storage need. And it also will get the vehicles out of the weather during the winter months. Yeah, I believe that it's the minimum allow of relief necessary. And I think what's driving the location of the garage is the septic system. We would have to either relocate it or do some other expensive modification to it. And we recently just had that done. I don't know, it was probably 8-10 years ago, right? 11 or 12 years ago. So, as well as leaving an area for a reserve area for in case that system need to be replaced at one time. I believe that's all I have. If you guys have any questions or you have any discussion about it, I'd be happy to answer them.
Anybody have any questions? Tony? No. Okay, anybody, this is a silly question, but I gotta do it. Is there anybody here who wishes to speak for this? Against this? Needs more information? No, okay. Let me poll the board and see how they stand on this. We'll go again, Larry.
I'm in favor of the application.
I am in favor.
I'm also in favor.
And I agree with my colleagues, and I also thank you for working with our zoning officer in the dimension problem that he had. I think it was a very good decision. We always like when those things happen.
Yes.
Okay? All right, I'm going to then need a motion to close this hearing.
So moved.
All those in favor? Against? Carried. And I will turn it over to Larry.
Mr. Chairman, we have before us a request by owners Ruth and Stephen Andrusco, who are seeking a 6-foot left side yard, 16-foot rear yard, and 3.3 height setback variance to construct a 24 by 28 detached garage with the second story used for storage pursuant to section 260-33 variances and 260 attachment 10, schedule of dimensional regulations of the town of Westerly zoning ordinance. The subject property contains 11,200 square feet, a quarter acre, and has 74.71 feet of frontage on Kimball Avenue. The property is not in a flood zone and there are no wetlands on the property. The lot is in the high-density residential 10 zone, HDR 10, and the surrounding neighborhood consists of HDR 10 and MDR 20 properties. The lot contains a 1,321 square foot single-family home, which was constructed in 1968. The board held a public hearing concerning this application on December 10th, 2025. Zoning board members Chairman Lawrence Chapa, Vice Chair Don Robinson, Larry Burns, and Alan Martone were present and heard testimony during the entirety of the public hearing. Absent Lori Moore, Leonard Sapinari, Stuart Miller, recused none. The zoning board was provided with a narrative by zoning official Martin Loisel dated December 3rd, 2025. which outlined the details of the application and was summarized by Mr. Loisel during the public hearing, thereby made part of the record. The following individual spoke as representative of the applicant, Tony Nenna, on-site engineering project engineer. No individuals spoke during the public hearing in support of the request. No individuals spoke during the public hearing in opposition of the request. At the public hearing, the following testimony and additional materials were entered into the record, and they were known as applicant's exhibit number 1. Mr. Chairman, through the public hearing process, the board heard that the applicant's request for dimensional variance is based on the current zoning setbacks not allowing enough room for the addition of a reasonably sized garage. The following plans and specifications are hereby made part of this approval and may not be altered, amended, or changed in any material way unless approved by the Westerly Zoning Board of Review. The determination of whether any alteration, amendment, or change in the approved plans is material shall be made by the town zoning official and the zoning board chairman. The zoning board hereby grants to the zoning official administrative authority to approve further non-material modifications to its approved plans. Site plan to support a zoning variance application prepared for Ruth S. and Stephen P. Andrusco, 62 Kimball Avenue, Plat 151, Lot 79, Westerly, Rhode Island, one sheet prepared by On-Site Engineering, Inc., and stamped by Anthony A. Nenna, P.E. number 7240, and Joseph P. Toscano, Jr., PLS number 1765, and dated October 21st, 2025. Considering the information presented at the public hearing, it is my opinion that the applicant has satisfied the standard of Section 260-33 variance, whereby granting the variance 1 is due to the unique characteristics of the subject land or structure and not to the general characteristics of the surrounding area, and is not due to a physical or economic disability of the applicant, excepting those physical disabilities addressed in 45-2430A16, because the existing home and septic system are located on a small quarter-acre lot that limits where a garage can be added. 2, is not the result of prior action of the applicant. In this case, the claimed hardship is that the existing home and septic system are located on a small quarter-acre lot that limits where a garage can be added. 3, will not alter the general character of the surrounding area or impair the intent or purpose of the zoning ordinance or the comprehensive plan upon which the ordinance is based, because other homes in the neighborhood have similar garages and accessory buildings, and this should not alter the character of the surrounding area. 4, the hardship suffered by the owner of the subject property if the dimensional variance is not granted will amount to more than a mere inconvenience, meaning that relief sought is minimal to reasonable enjoyment, permitted use, to which the property is proposed to be devoted. The fact that a use may be more profitable or that a structure may be more valuable after the relief is granted is not grounds for relief. Here, the use is a single-family home and it is a permitted use. In addition, the applicant has demonstrated that if the dimensional variance is not granted, denial would amount to more than a mere inconvenience because it would not allow them to have a reasonably sized garage and storage area. As such, Mr. Chairman, I move to approve a 6-foot left side yard, a 16-foot rear yard, and a 3.3 height setback variance to construct a 24 by 28 detached garage with the second floor used for storage at 62 Kimball Avenue, pursuant to Section 260-33 variances and 260 Attachment 10 Schedule of Dimensional Regulations of the Town of Westerly zoning ordinance with no conditions.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried? Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And we have no continuing business. See, we have one application for next month, and we do have to approve the calendar for next year. Marty, could you just refresh everybody on that?
Yeah, it's this, as usual, it's the second Wednesday of the month, with the exception of November, because second Wednesday falls on Veterans Day. So we agreed to push it to the following Wednesday, the 18th.
Okay. And everybody, I'm sure, has looked at this. Does anybody have any questions or problems with it?
I just want to, for Stuart, do we need to make a note of when he's not available, or he'll just tell us when he is not available?
I mean, he knows when the meeting dates are. If he can look at the calendar and.
He's just
set-
like any other member. He just says, I can't be there.
Yeah,
If he
right,
can't be
right.
there. Okay.
And Dawn, if you're not sure, you can always give him a call.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I'll call him
Yeah.
and just keep ahead of that.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the calendar, right?
Mhm.
Second,
Okay, all those in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Carried. And I need a motion to adjourn,
So moved.
and we are adjourned.
Just a reminder, I will not be here next month. I will hand out the assignments or the assignment, but I will not be at the meeting.
We'll miss you.
I-
And everybody have a nice, good holiday. What did he say?